Hey guys, it's Gloria, and today we're going to go over the running form of Su Bingtian, who is currently the fastest Asian to have ever run the 6-meter and 100-meter race. Recently, I've been making running videos looking at long-distance runners whose running mechanics are more predicated toward efficiency. This time we're looking at sprinting, where the main focus is usually to improve power and speed. Now let's look at Su Bingtian's running form and see a little bit of what makes him one of the fastest men in the world. This time we will be analyzing his running as he runs the 6-meter race. Before we get into looking at specific parts of his body, I want you guys to take a look at Su's start. Su is known for his great starts in his races. As you guys know, during sprints, the start is a very important part of the race. Now, as you watch this clip, you can see a few key points to his great start. The first we will talk about is his cadence as he pushes off from the blocks, which is basically based on how fast he can take steps. As noted in a research study looking at biomechanical differences in faster and slower high-level sprinters in the Journal of Human Kinetics, the findings suggest that faster sprinters during the block start have higher force magnitude, which is comprised of rear block total force and vertical rear block force, as well as increased rate of force development. Now, we can't exactly measure the amount of force they are applying through the blocks during the race, but we can look at the rate at which they apply the force, which is through the steps they take. When you compare Su to Perez, you can see that Su presents with a slightly higher rate of steps compared to him. This supports the findings seen in the research study as I stated before. Obviously, there are more factors to the starting block performance leading to improved speeds because Collins also presents with basically the same cadence as Su during the start. Well, there is another factor of the starting block performance that we can see. A noticeable difference when looking at Collins and Su's start is the path deviation, which basically shows how well they can run in a straight path. Looking at Collins and Perez, you can see there is a path deviation to the right as they push off the blocks. Su presents with very little path deviation and maintains a relatively straight path, which means improved efficiency of force application toward the desired direction, leading to improved speeds. Another thing I'll briefly mention about Su's start is how smoothly and quickly he transitions from starting position to upright position. To visually see this, I'll rerun the clip again. As you can see here, he has successfully transitioned to an upright position while the other sprinters around him are still in this kind of flexed posture. Being able to do this quickly and smoothly is key to faster times in these races. Now, let's look more closely at different components of the body. This time, instead of looking at the side view of the foot, I want you guys to take a look at the front of his body, as this will better illustrate one of the key things I want to point out, which is ankle stabilization. When landing on the foot, there's a little bit of an inward collapse that naturally occurs known as foot pronation. This allows for some force absorption to prevent excessive stress on the foot. Now, too much pronation can lead to increased stress on the ligaments, but what this also does is cause slower leg turnover, leading to decreased speeds during a race. This is because if excessive pronation occurs, it will take a slightly increased time to get out of this collapsed position and into what we call a supinated position to allow for efficient push-off from the foot. Now, I'm not saying that these sprinters go into excessive pronation, but if you notice, their feet go into a slightly more collapsed position compared to Su. Looking at Su's feet more closely as he runs, he does not go into a pronated position as much, which leads to quicker turnover, causing improved speed and performance during the sprint. To do this, it takes a tremendous amount of strength and control in the legs, especially in sprinting, as there is so much force going through the legs as it touches the ground. When the muscles of the legs, especially the hips and ankles, are not strong enough, this force will usually drive the foot into a collapsed position, causing decreased leg turnover as stated before. Now let's take a look at his knees, specifically his knee drive. This type of knee drive is commonly seen with high-level sprinters. As I've mentioned in previous videos, this knee drive allows for improved cyclic motion to occur to allow for improved utilization of the elastic properties of the hip and knee muscles. But this time, I'll visually depict what I mean by this. As you can see, Su's knees bend completely and is about to swing forward. What you see is the quad muscles and hip flexors being stretched and are under tension. This is similar to the tension applied when you stretch an elastic band. Now, as he swings the leg forward, not only does hip muscle activation occur, but just like when you release the tension from an elastic band, the elastic properties of the hip and knee muscles previously tensioned aid in swinging the leg forward, leading to improved leg turnover and quicker speeds. The next thing we will look at is the trunk. At first glance, it may look like he is bending forward at the trunk, but actually, he's not. He actually keeps his trunk in almost a neutral position. He doesn't extend his trunk too far back or too far forward and collapse into a flexed posture. Besides, for the very end, to just quickly get a part of his body past the finish line for the quickest time possible. Similar to other great sprinters like Usain Bolt, his whole body leans forward, which aids in forward momentum as he runs. This also aids in a way similar to what I talked about with knee drive. When you are bending forward from the ankles, where your whole body actually leans forward, you'll notice that your legs go into more hip extension. This will increase the amount of tension applied to the hip flexors, increasing elastic energy, which will improve ability to propel forward. The last thing we will talk about is positioning of the head. He does present with forward head posture with his neck very slightly extended. However, Su's ability to maintain this neck position in a more neutral position throughout the race has improved throughout the year. He actually does a better job of doing this in this race compared to some of the other sprinters as you see here. Keeping the neck in more of a neutral position allows for improved ability to stabilize the neck, allowing for improved ability to maintain core engagement throughout the race. This is important, especially in sprinting, as force output, especially from the legs, is significantly increased. If the core isn't strong enough to counter these forces, it won't be able to help stabilize the pelvis, which can cause excessive movement to occur. This can cause energy leakage to occur throughout the entire body, leading to decreased force generation in the desired direction as you move forward. And that's all for the quick analysis on the way Su runs. I pointed out just a few parts of Su's biomechanics, but there are definitely more variables that make Su Bingtian one of the fastest men in the world. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and will subscribe for future videos. Also, feel free to leave a comment below about Su Bingtian or any runner you would want me to analyze next. And as always, thank you for watching.